That's it, dude. That's it. I love our morning talks. Let's go.
So we had talked about, let me share my screen here again. So we're in command, and we had talked last time, really kind of where a start of being inside of contacts, and creating a smart plan. Getting all your people in, getting a smart plan, finding out their birthdays, and the smart plans that we had talked about were the quarterly call plan, the birthday plan, and the neighborhood nurture. And then we also talked about going inside of opportunities and creating those different checklists. And I just want to take a quick second and kind of go into one other portion of opportunities that I believe is highly underutilized, and want to kind of show you what that looks like. So we have a listing, okay? So say you've got a listing, and we're starting to get offers on that listing. And I know I created like a generic one, but yeah, here we go. Okay. So, we create a generic listing.
Okay.
And so I've got my listing in command, and I'm starting to get offers. You have this add new offer. Now, most of us, if your market center, which most market centers now are moving to command for processing your offers and getting paid, you probably are familiar with coming in and putting that offer in. But there's a functionality that I don't think that you are that you do know about. So if we come in here, we click add a new offer.
Okay.
We'll just call this one offer 4. Now I would probably come in here and put the buyer's last name. Maybe say offer 4 dash Ramirez, something like that, right?
Got it.
And we're going to create the offer, and you'll say, okay, what's the offer date? What's the close date on the offer? And then go to parties, and put okay, who's the buyer's information. All we need is the first name. We'll have our seller information here, and then you'll say, okay, are they pre-approved, pre-qualified? Who is the agent that's representing them? And then hit next to terms.
Okay.
And so then we're going to come in here and say, what's the cash? So let's say they're putting $20,000 down. They're financing $100,000. Their EMD is 3%. We're California, so we don't really have an option fee. Termination option. On this one, I would put the latest date. So in California we have our inspection, our appraisal, and our loan contingency. So I just put whatever is the latest date. So typically that's going to be loan. And the RPA standard is 21 days, so we'll just call it 21. And then you can say seller contribute. So if it's to settlement cost, I wouldn't put in here unless they're doing something really specific. But when I say to settlement costs, usually it's county specific, but say well, seller pays half title, half escrow, or whatever, so that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't put that in there.
Okay.
But this I would say would be like, hey, they're sellers to contribute $5,000 to closing costs. I could put that in there. And then go agent analysis. And then you're going to put the pros and the cons. So you can say pros is, large deposit. Cons, agent Tristan has never closed a deal. Okay. And then you can put in the summary in here.
That's a highlight of the day, dude. I love that.
So summary, you can put in whatever you want, right? And so save. So the whole point of this is we're putting in the offers in here. So one, because we want our seller to be able to see all the offers that are coming in. It just takes us a couple of seconds to put all these in. But what I want you to do is you say, okay, hey, I've got all my offers in here that I received on this listing. you click select all. So we've got them all. And then click compare offers. And so now you as the agent can look and see, okay, we can look at this line by line and see what are these things, what are the differences between the different offers.
I love that.
Now, what you can do is hit email offer comparison, saying, okay, hey, it's going to send it to who? The subject title is, we got 3 offers. Great news. We have 3 offers. So you can put in here, time to start packing. Okay. And I hit send offer. What that's going to do is going to send it to the, it's going to send that email to your seller. And I'll open up that email here and show you what that looks like. And so this is what that email looks like. So it comes in, it says, hey, you've got 3 new offers, time to start packing. Here's the initial, this offer here, here's this offer, here's that one, and it just shows them all this. But if they click compare the offers, it puts them into this sort of PDF where they can look at, just like how you were able to, here's the differences. And so
Jeff, with this,
yeah,
can we also attach, does it give us the option to attach the actual offers as well, or is that on a separate email?
No, so this is strictly just, being able to present all the offers to your seller, and say like, hey, here's all of them. Here's the basic bones of each offer. And, in my opinion, I highly recommend we look at, we pare it down to these 4, from the Ramirez family, Gonzalez family, Smith family, and Jones family, or whatever, right? So you say, okay, these are the 4 offers that I think are the strongest and most likely to close, but here's all of them. So that way your seller can look at all of them and say, well, actually, we want to know more about this one. We want to know more about that one. So you're doing your fiduciary responsibility to your client and saying like, hey, here's everything, but also being able to, be the whole reason why they hired an agent was to get your personal professional opinion on which one's the right one to go with. But it's also our fiduciary responsibility to not just our client, but to our other agents to know that, hey, my offer is actually being submitted. So it's a great tool that is highly underutilized that can really help. A lot of agents, I don't know if you were doing this like back in the short sale days, we would do this with Excel spreadsheet. So I would actually have a virtual assistant. The offer would come in and they would put inside the Excel spreadsheet all this information, and then I would share this with the seller. So I was already doing this, but not in an automated way built into software.
Got it.
So this is actually really, really cool to be able to have this. And I can tell you, when a seller can see things just kind of in a quick snapshot, it really helps them.
All right, makes sense, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is beautiful, by the way. I love this. This is one of my favorite new things here, because when we actually tried this one time to test it out. And what I did is, if you go back to the actual window, I'll show you something that we did, where you're comparing it on your screen here. When you have the comparison,
yes.
There was a previous screen that you had on here when you compare the offers. There we go, right there. So what we did is I cropped that from my screen and I texted it to my clients.
Yeah, you could do that too.
And they were like, oh, that's cool, right? So it's just super simple, something you can do. You don't have to, because a lot of our clients are like iPhone texting only, right? They're like, some of them don't even check their email, but this gives that snapshot that you want. And I love this, dude. One of my favorite features.
Well, you can also click the download button here, and it will give you this here, so you can send that to your client as well. So it'll give you this PDF. So if I download this, if I download this, it's going to do as a PDF, and now I have that PDF here. So I could, text them the PDF too or whatever. But yeah, screenshotting is just as easy. are easier actually.
Nice. All right.
Yep,
What else do you got for us, buddy?
So when we're talking about everyday sort of things, one of the areas that we could talk about, we can go into, and we'll go into some more of the paid advertising campaigns and stuff next week. But one of the areas that I really kind of want to focus on your daily activities to help generate business. And I would really start to dig into designs. And the reason why I'd really start to dig into designs is building that 66-day habit. Now, can you find that your social, it's called STAY, your acronym?
Oh, yeah, let me see. Let me pull that up. Wow.
Yeah. So while you're pulling that up, I think it's super important. There's two ways to really kind of get to your end goal. You're either going to if you want to get there faster, it's going to cost you money.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't have the money, you're going to have to spend the time to do it, right? So I want to show you the way, like, okay, hey, Jeff, I'm doing 3 to 4 deals a year. I don't exactly have hundreds and hundreds of dollars to commit to PPC each month.
Yeah.
Show me what I can do to generate some free business. And so the way I look at that is leveraging the sphere of influence that we have on social media, leveraging our people. Oops, my hot corners are messing with me today.
All right, dude.
So one of the big things that people don't understand is when they come into designs, they look at this, and for probably most people who really haven't done anything inside of designs,
Mm-hmm.
they may not have anything here. And so people kind of gloss over, it says my design templates. What that means is these are designs that you have created and saved. These are not templates. So that template kind of, the terminology is a little confusing, because these are your templates that you've copied. They're not the KW templates, okay?
That's
so
true.
If I want to create something brand new, I'm going to click this blue button down here, the plus button.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we going to create? So today I kind of want to really dive a little deeper into the social side.
Okay.
So we hit social.
Cool.
And do you have that stay thing, buddy?
Yeah. Let me share my screen.
Let me stop share. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So here you go. So I've got this acronym that I created to make posting on social, whatever level you're in, a lot easier, because we're creating a process out of it. And it's sell, teach, advice, you. And the idea behind it is when you're selling, because we're all great at doing this, Jeff, check out this listing that I got, check out this buyer that I'm helping out, all that good stuff. You have to sell with a story, right? What's the story behind your actual selling? So if you take a step back and think, well, what's the story behind what I'm doing right now? What's the cool thing I can tell you about this home? What's the amazing story I can tell you behind this buyer or seller that I just helped out? That's sell, right? Sell with a story. Next is teach. This is an opportunity for us to be able to sit down and talk to our audience so they know what a process looks like. And we've got all that knowledge in our heads, but we just don't take the time to show it. And in this case, it could be as easy as an inspection or getting a loan with less than 20% down. You know how many people think that you need 20% down, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Things like that. Next is advice. Here's where, this is my favorite one. This is your opportunity to shine. Advice in something that you love outside of real estate, outside of the world that you're in when it comes to real estate. This is where you bring in, like me, I bring in Baby Yoda. I bring in my Stormtrooper helmet. I bring in the things that I love, the technology that I use. This allows the audience to connect with me at a different level, right? People are like, what the hell does that have to do with real estate? I'm like, it has everything to do with social media. When you create your audience, then they start caring about what you do because you've connected with them. Then why is you? Talk about you. Talk about your dog. What are you eating? What are you doing? You're working out today? You're not? What are you drinking? Show me what you're drinking. Jeff, what are you drinking today?
Just vodka and ice.
Oh, nice, dude. Look.
I'm kidding. The day started early.
It's good. We're early, man. We're early.
Just kidding.
I
No,
need
it's
to-
this is unicorn whatever flavored bang.
Unicorn? What the
Yeah, it's
hell
like
is that? What? Oh, that's a good one, dude. We're gonna just skip to that next part. Forget what we're drinking. Jeff, thanks for bringing that up on Stay, but that's it's just the way that we use social media, which is perfect to go into designs, right?
yeah, and so I wanted that because I wanted to write down and people to understand that, because I don't care what it is, if you use your Stay or if you create your own sort of acronym. The thing is, you have to have a plan. Okay, you have to have a plan to go in and do it. And Tristan, kind of a shameless plug, because I know you won't do this for yourself, but if you could put in the link in there for you put out this content also in an email newsletter. Can you put that link in there as well?
Definitely, bro.
That's a good one for people to follow. And so what I love about your Stay is it's super simple. We all love simple stuff, right? And we're realtors, so we understand RPAs, TDSs, SPQs. Acronyms are in our wheelhouse. So, I understand it's sell, teach, advise, and then you. And so in you explaining all that, I'm going to go inside of Command here. And let's talk about sell, right? So you had said selling with a story. So, if I look at, if I have a listing, okay, and I've got, say a just listed, I can come in here and say I have a just listed or a just sold, any of that information in here, and I can click on Social Square. Social Square is going to be the actual posting of it. Where I think we forget to do this, and I think this is an important point. When you go into social media, you have a massive different audience. And I only know this because this is how I use social media. I would say probably about 6 months ago, I quit looking through the timeline. I quit scrolling, and I only go to stories now.
Ooh.
I strictly, I don't go through the feed anymore. I simply go to stories, and I just watch people's stories and go through. That connection there is much more one-on-one with that individual than it is just kind of getting lost in some of the comments and things like that. I've noticed myself in the things that I post on social media, I'll get some interaction on my physical post, but I'll get a whole different level of interaction with a whole different group of people going into the stories. And so the reason why I bring that up is I think it's so important when you go to create your content for your, for, let's say, my sell, and I want to do a just sold, right? I want to be able to put a post that says, hey, this house sold, let's say we're going to use this one. This house sold in 10 days. We'll click use. Well, so we want to tell the story about a house that sold, that we listed, it sold in 10 days. We got this great marketing plan, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we're going in and we're creating this thing, but I also want to put that into stories because somebody made the algorithm, the way they use the product, the way they use that platform, it may not push the post I made towards the top of their feed, even though we're super interacted with each other on stories. But it'll push that story to the front. And I don't know if you know this, but well, you probably do, but when you're going into stories, I can look at the top here and I have my stories. You have the red ring, right? So that red orange ring that's around everybody's name, that's a regular, hey, we're pushing this out to everybody. When you go to their name and it's green, that means that you're considered a close friend.
Yep.
So you're gonna start to see when you're getting into that, the algorithm, it's not them saying like, hey, Jeff is a close friend. It's that the algorithm sees that you guys are interacting with each other and we think that you guys are close friends. And now you're going to see content that, because when I go to post a story, I can say, hey, send it to my whole story audience, or no, I only want to send it to just my friends, my close friends. You're now inside that group of close friends because you're just interacting. So to me, that I spend a lot of my time in stories because frankly, I don't want to skim through all that stuff. I just want to tap through and see, you know, who's my top 20, 30 people that I want to stay in touch with and look at that.
That's true, man. That's true. I agree with you.
So I'm saying we need to create content for both is my point in that. Okay. So we're going to come in here and I'm going to kind of re-justify this a little bit. I can change the font size. I could do a lot of different things inside of here to make it the way that I want. Let's say we sold this thing in 5 days. Oops. Oh, come on, Jeff, grab the right thing. See, you know, I'm the guy that's supposed to be teaching this and I'm even doing it wrong, right?
It's all right, dude. It's not your fault.
Right, so we got this thing here and then now we click on this image. So when I click on this image, so I want to swap this out. You click on images right here, and I'm going to say, okay, I need to add an image. Or if I have something that's from the company, which we don't, but I'm going to say add an image, and then I can say, is it from here? So let's just go to desktop, and what image do I have on here? Apologize in advance for this. Let's see what this is. We got an imported image. Oh, yeah, that's my Facebook post this morning. Okay, so so now I've got this image in here. Let me delete that out of here. So if I click the image and then come in and put this, and I'm going to put this back here, put this here, and then I could tell it layer order, send backwards. So you can move it backwards behind. If you don't understand, if you've never been, if you've never done any sort of graphic design stuff, what we're doing is all this stuff is different layers. So we're just telling you, hey, go backwards until it's back behind everything that I want to be behind it. So you're going to have different, different design pieces here, right? And so we're just moving it behind all that. So you get the point. Right, and then you got your DBA logo. We're going to click this, come to it, and say replace our logo, and it's going to automatically swap it out. So we got that there. Okay. So we've got our design here that we've created, and then you go to download, and I want it to be the highest resolution as possible. And I click start download. It's going to download that JPEG, and now I can take this JPEG and I can put that. So when I open this, it's going to create this logo here, and then I can take that and post it onto social. So if I click done, it's going to, if I click done, it saves it into my templates here. So you'll see it's right here. Okay.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. So there's that. Now the same thing, when I come into social, I'm going to go to that. Now it's important if I'm telling a post, if I'm telling a story, I want unity in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So here we have the just sold, and it's the square. I'm going to go stories, and I'm going to use the story version of that one. Click use. So it's the same sort of layout, the same font, the same all that stuff, but it's just in the vertical stories format. Again, just you can come in here and change that information. Okay. Now here's what I would do differently, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, Tristan. What I would do different from a use case. So we're telling the story about the home, right? Yeah. So I'm saying, hey, this home sold in 10 days, that sort of thing. People, Google, search engines, all that stuff consume the text, right? They consume what's there. But you and I we consume video, we consume that content.
Yeah.
So it's great to put that image up there. And I think it's great to put that so it says, hey, here's the image that says this home sold in 10 days.
Hmm.
I think it's almost more important to follow up that image with a video of you saying like, hey, we sold, the Smith house in 10 days, and and they were really concerned, like, hey man, Tristan, you're such a great agent, you get stuff sold so quickly, I don't want to be homeless. What's going to happen? Right. And so then now you're telling the story of how it happened, how you got your offers, how you got those different things, and
Yeah.
talk about contingencies, selling with that, so you can start to debunk a lot of myths and a lot of fears that are involved in that, because we all like to shout from the rooftops that, hey, I sold a house in 20 minutes. But
Yeah.
okay, then why did I pay you $30,000 if you could sell it in 30 minutes with 20 offers? Okay, let me tell you the story of everything that leads up to it. Let me tell you how I get you to that point. It's not just a sign of the yard that caused that to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100%, dude.
So that's where I think your ability as an agent. I had a friend tell me, Finn Fairfield. He's now one of the success coach, the head of coaching at Success, and he told me something where sometimes we think that everybody knows what we know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We think that everybody, just because I know it, it's not necessarily common knowledge. And so us as agents, sometimes we forget that the people that we're working with, the people that we're talking to, don't know all the nuances of transactions and how that stuff works like we do. And so it's important for you to tell that story and tell them why you're worth whatever marketing fee that you're charging, why you are deserving of the pay that you are. That is how we stop the Zillows. That's how we stop these other companies, is by saying, this is why you should hire me. This is what sets me apart from every other agent in my community, every other major company on Wall Street that's coming after us. This is how I do that. And so this storytelling is such a huge piece. We just kind of gloss over it and think, oh, well, everybody knows that's how this works, or, the market's just hot. So you got to be careful in the story that you tell, in such a way that you're not just making it seem like everybody's, it doesn't take a good agent to get 30 offers, in 2 days and get it under contract and all that kind of good stuff.
Dude, I think it makes sense, because one thing we forget when it comes to social media, that's what people perceive us to be like. So if we continually just bombard people with crap, they're going to just think we're spammers, right? Social media is the new form of email, what we're all used to. Remember, the average age of a real estate agent is 57 years old. So most of you remember email spamming. Some of you are still doing it. But when it comes to social media, don't spam people with crap. Take that opportunity to connect with people, with your audience at a deeper level, right? And David, don't judge me, David. I was spying on you on social media. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love your angle on this, man. I love designs. Designs is one of our favorites.
Yeah. So we only got 17 minutes here, and I want to make sure that we kind of get through the rest of your acronym here. So we understand now, I'm telling the story. And now when we talk about teaching the process, we could come in here and I think yeah, so we go into here's some local expert stuff. So we can come in here and see here's some information on stats of the market. So we can there's lots of pre-done stuff in here for you. On the buyer side, one of the things in here is we talk about the home loan information. Now this is we're talking about Keller Mortgage here. You can rebrand some of this stuff, but like here's We have, these are different letters. When we go into social, and we could talk about the buyer with pre-approval always stands out. Okay, so let's say we're going to use this one. And again, this is where we're going to come into, this is our storytelling. We come in here and say, okay, we always tell people, you need to be pre-approved, especially in this day and age of COVID, as a listing agent or as a buyer's agent, I've got to have you pre-qualified, I got to have your proof of funds, I got to have all this stuff. Well, to them, you got to understand the eyes of the consumer, especially the first-time home buyer. The only other major purchase in their life outside of a home is what? What's probably the second biggest purchase that a consumer makes in the United States outside of a home?
Usually a car. Brian, I think you're right.
Yep, it's a car, right? So so that car, college education. Oh, crap, that's a big one too.
That's true.
Yeah,
good point.
Yeah. And so let's look at the car. Okay, so, and this is why I think sometimes we get frustrated with our clients because, but they've been trained up until the point that they look to start buying a home, that I get to go to a car lot. Like I get to go to CarMax. If you've never been to CarMax, it's one of my favorite sort of places to go, because I can go and I can get a look at almost every type of vehicle. They usually got almost one of everything. I can go in, I can take a look. Nobody's going to bother me. Well, pre-COVID, nobody's going to bother me. And I can walk in and I can open up any car. They're all unlocked. Nobody's going to harass me, none of that sort of stuff. And then once I'm ready to purchase one, I raise my hand. I want to take a test drive. I get to test drive the thing. And then at the very end is where we talk about financing, right? So they don't, the difference in the home buying process is completely backwards from the way that the consumer has always been taught. I can grab something, I can touch it, I can look at it, I could go to Target, look at all that stuff, and then not until I get ready to walk out the door am I charged for it. The home purchasing process is completely different, and so we have to educate them on why and how that process is that way. And so I think, using some of these tools in here are great ways to educate the consumer. And again, we could do this now. If you wanted to make this more personally branded, like, if you want to say like, hey, this is all great, but I want to use, some of my logo. So I can grab my logo here, put it on and put that down in here. If I had some text I wanted to add to it, I could absolutely, pick certain text here. I can click on the title and I could say something about that there. If I have an image, it's maybe like or if I had like a team logo, I could do that there. If I had an image or something, and I'm just like, this guy's cool and everything, but I'm way better looking, so I'm gonna put my face on his. Okay, so you can do whatever you want there. Download that and do it. So,
well, dude, I think this would make a great TikTok. Like if we could. Let me see if I can. David says your Photoshop skills are absolutely insanely amazing. I just translated that for you, David. Let me. I'm going to show you. Maybe I can show you on my phone really quick. All right.
Yep.
Let me see.
You know how to screen share on your phone, right?
Yep. Let me grab it.
Cool.
I just have to turn on my Wi-Fi because
you just got hard plug it in, bro.
Two different Wi-Fi's here. Here we go. Perfect.
So you got one for the kids and one for dad?
Yeah, one for me. Because my kids play too many video games.
Uh-huh.
So don't judge me, I do too.
What platform are you on? Are you more Xbox, PlayStation?
I was Xbox a lot, and then my son switched over to computer. And we switched over where we started playing computer a lot. So, all right, here we go. Let me see if I can grab that. Zoom, here it is. All right, I'm going to, it's almost there, so I can show you what to do on TikTok because I took a picture of what you had. I'm going to go to TikTok really quick.
Wait,
all right, so let me mute it because you don't want to hear all that crap. So let's go really quick to press the plus button. There I am. Hey, everybody. So I'm going to go to effects and go to this little hand one that has a picture. Click on that one. Right now, it gives me a choice to bring up pictures, but I already saved this one because I took a picture of it, right, from your screen. Obviously, you can download it, right? But you can have that as the main screen. You can put it at the top. You can record. Maybe you just want to have it right there, and then just start with that. You know, buyers with pre-approvals always stand out more, right? You just recorded that, then you remove it, then you just get it out of the way, and then you start talking, and then we start talking about whatever you want to talk about, and then you have all that crap coming out on the top, and you record it. So I'd be like, hey, everybody, check out why buyers with pre-approvals stand out more. Click on that, right? Done. Now I continue. So this is what I'm talking about, blah, 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 crap, crap, crap. And then you go to the next one, and then you're ready to go, right? That's how easy it is to do. Obviously, you have to use TikTok first, right? So
side note on this, brother.
But that's how easy
TikTok,
it is. You just have to get a little bit more creative. You can use a lot of these great things that you find on designs, put them up at the front to get people engaged and talking, and then go into the talking head mode, right? Use that as a prompt.
So I'm not 12. Why should I be using TikTok? I don't use TikTok, by the way. Why should I be using TikTok? I don't dance in my kitchen. Why should I be using TikTok?
That's a great point. So I'll give you an example of why you should be using TikTok. And this goes back to my advice on STAY, and then we can wrap this up unless you have something else here. I'm going to show you on my main screen. Let me go to my TikTok so I can show you the power of TikTok. If you haven't jumped on, by the way, let me go to my profile, and then I'll take you in and show you. All right, here we go. This is TikTok. This is mine. And so you scroll down. This is one of my latest ones when I did the unpackaging of the Baby Yoda picture that I bought through TikTok. 112,000 views. And then you scroll down to another one over here. Where is this one? This one's got 1 million views, right? And then I've got another one with like 700,000 views. Now, let's take a look at this one with 1 million views. From the top, make it drop. That's a wet. That's a wet. And I get a bucket and I'm mop. That's a wet. That's a wet. I'm talking wop, wop, wop. That's a wet. That's a wet. Macaroni in a pot. That's a wet. That's a wet. Huh? Not from the top. That's it. That's how easy it was. Let me mute it so I can show you the analytics really quick. Now, it has analytics here. You see at the very bottom, it says 1 million played, 44,000 likes, 2,400 shares, most of those from United States, right? Now you start looking at what I'm telling you on the advice. You're creating an audience, right? Look at 3,667 hours of watch time on this.
Wow.
So you're creating an audience off of things that you love. Then you bring people in between and remind them that you're also in real estate. Right? That's the secret of social media that people miss.
I think it's such a, Gary Vaynerchuk said this back when he was doing his, I think it was his Crush It book tour. He said, don't be the douchebag, in the party, roll deep. I think was this famous line they said years ago at a conference. And his whole point in that, if you kind of strip off the shock value of it all, is when we, like if I go to a kid's party, I hate going to those things, but I'll go, and inevitably you're standing around, you're just having a cocktail with all the other parents, and we're all just kind of looking at what's going on, and then it's like, hey, how's work? Oh, and then you start that conversation. But I'm not going to walk in and open up the door and say, the realtor's here, let's sell some houses. It's I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me, we're starting that conversation, and then we can eventually start to have that sort of a thing where I'm going to let you know. But it's that deeper level of connection that you're talking about there. That's you're opening up the audience. That's the wide portion of your funnel that you're bringing them through. So smart, man.
Yeah, that's the key, man. That's the key to social media. We just have to tweak what we think of and how we think of it. And look, you've got Instagram. Instagram is its own world. You got Reels, Stories, IGTV, the feed, right? Live. You've got a whole bunch. Use all of the
Yeah.
awesome stuff we have in designs for that.
Just one last thing before we close, and that is just, you know, the neighborhood snaps to me is one of the ones that if you don't do any of this stuff, you definitely tell your story through the neighborhood snaps. If you use social stories, this will fit inside of TikTok. Okay, so if you use TikTok, you do it, or you can do the Instagram stories that will push to Facebook. And again, you just click use, and to create these templates are so simple. I can swap out my logo. We showed you how to do that before. I can change this verbiage, but this here, this particular neighborhood snap, I click it so it's got this blue outline. I come over here to KWLS and then change this to snapshots. And then see where it says search neighborhood name. I can go to that micro level, but if I want to go a little bit more macro, I could say, let's go to postal code. So we'll say 90210, okay? Put that in there, and it's gonna pull up 3 different formats of the snaps for the templates, and you're just gonna match the one that you have. So I've got my blue outline, it's here. So this is the one, I'm just gonna click replace image. It replaced it, and now I'm done. So super, super simple to do. And you've got this information in here so now I can start telling the story again, using those different things. So I would just ask you to kind of go through here, thinking about your acronym, think about what you're going to say. And there's a million different things that you can use inside of here to tell your story, to tell your stay story as you go on this journey.
Dude, I love that, man. Good job on bringing all that designs into this. That was really good. I enjoyed that.
You got it, brother.
Thanks for that. And go finish your unicorn drink now that we're done.
I hate you.
Hey, what should we do next week?
We're going to keep going on this journey for a little bit. We're going to dig deep into some of the ads. You know, I want everyone to kind of be comfortable with the applets and some of the parts of command that maybe they just don't quite know. And so I want us to kind of get through this because we've got a lot of newer people coming into KW. We also have a lot of people who are very seasoned in KW, but just don't quite know, you know, or maybe they got into command 2 years ago and it just wasn't quite ready for where they were at in their business.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to get in and they want to know, like, hey, what's going on? You know, when the president of our company gets up and says, hey, we're making a big shift, we're doing a lot of different things, it's good to have those conversations.
That's true, buddy. All right, I like that. Let's keep on going. And Karen says, thanks, you guys rock. You too, we appreciate you. Ellen enjoyed it too. She thinks she needs to hire somebody. I agree, Ellen. Leverage, definitely. You know what? Read A 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. I know it's an oldie, well, you know, early 2000s, but damn, that applies to the world we're in right now. It could really shift the way you think of the opportunities that you have just by leveraging to somebody else. So great.
Let's talk. So next week, buddy, let's do this. Next week, let's talk about on building ads. Okay, we can go in a little bit on building some of our ads, but on the first half, but on the second half, can you talk, because you use VAs like crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And so love to kind of go deeper on that VA conversation of saying, hey, I need some leverage in command because they can do a lot of this stuff that's free, but they can take a lot of these things off your hands. And so maybe you can kind of talk about how you use virtual assistants.
Dude, they sure can. I just hired my 13th one, so yeah.
Lucky number.
They're lucky.
Especially,
especially
if you're a Taylor Swift fan, right? Which we all know you are, bro.
I am.
You love the Tay
thing,
don't you?
I've been following this since her country days. Thanks, Debbie. I appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jeff.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.